Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome, welcome, and happy Independence Day and happy America 250. I'm Pam Cashwell, and I have the extreme honor of serving as Secretary of the North Carolina Department of Natural and Cultural Resources. Our agency has been planning for America 250 for several years now, all leading up to today. And we could not be more excited to have you with us. We're your hosts for today's celebration, along with our Division of State Historic Sites and our amazing staff here at the state capitol. And it's fitting that we're gathered here today at our capital, North Carolina's seat of government and our state's ultimate symbol of the people's right of self-governance. Earlier this morning, we welcomed 49 new American U.S. citizens. They took the oath of allegiance at a naturalization ceremony right here in the Capitol. They have chosen to be Americans, and we have chosen them to be Americans. 250 years ago today, a bold vision for freedom, self-governance, and democracy was declared, a vision that has helped shape the United States of America ever since. And it's why we come together each year on this day to celebrate. Today is a chance for us to pause, to reflect, and remember what binds us together as North Carolinians. And now I'd like for you to stand as you are able for the posting of the colors provided by the North Carolina Society of the Sons of the American Revolution.
Color guard, halt. Left face. Present arms.
And now I'm pleased to introduce Robert Carter, Chaplain for the Veterans of Foreign Wars, District 7, for an invocation.
Dear God, who art the Lord of hosts and God of peace, thank you for this day and the men and women who gave everything for us. Grant us the wisdom to keep and spread freedom around the world. This we pray to our great God. Amen.
And now I'd like to invite up Ray Norman, a rising fifth grader at A.B. Combs Magna Elementary School here in Raleigh, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Ray? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ray. We are also honored to have Staff Sergeant Kiari Moon from the 82nd Airborne Chorus to perform our national anthem.
broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Color guard. Post the national colors. Post the remaining colors. Right face. Forward march.
Let's give our color guard a hand. Let's also give it up for Staff Sergeant Moon. That was incredible, amazing. Thank you. I'm also thrilled right now to recognize Major James Capers Jr., who was recently awarded the Medal of Honor by the President of the United States for his heroism in Vietnam. Thank you so much, Major Capers, for your service to our nation. We're also thrilled to have with us the North Carolina National Guard's Adjutant General, Major General Todd Hunt. Thank you, General Hunt, for your service and all you do. So before we continue, I just want to thank all of you for being here with us today. This is an incredible, incredible crowd, and I hear what I've been waiting for. Take a look in the sky. It's coming. Timing is everything. Thank you to the National Guard for the flyover. That was awesome. Just adding to all the special things that are happening today. Also want to thank the North Carolina Department of Labor for the wonderful parade that we had this morning. And now I'm pleased to introduce the Secretary and my Cabinet colleague, the Secretary of the North Carolina Department of Revenue, McKinley Wooten.
For those of you that have a seat, please take your seat with your fan in hand. Good afternoon and happy Independence Day to all of you. I'm delighted to be here and to introduce our 76th governor of the state of North Carolina. I have had the honor of working alongside Governor Stein for the last year and a half. And I can tell you that I have witnessed firsthand his passion and his dedication to all North Carolinians. Since he took office, Governor Stein has been laser focused on building a future where every community has access to economic opportunity, strong public schools, and safety for all. And something that you may not know, he is quite the student of history as well. So will you join me in welcoming my friend and brother and Governor of the state of North Carolina, Josh Stein.
Good afternoon. Welcome to a truly special 4th of July, a celebration of America 250 and the freedom that binds us together. Now, every one of you who is here today braving the North Carolina heat is a patriot. Please drink plenty of water. There are water stations all around. If you start to feel dizzy, please find some shade and sit on the ground. I want to thank the Color Guard, 82nd Airborne Chorus for such beautiful music. Secretary Cashwell, Commissioner Farley, Secretary of State Marshall, Treasurer Briner, all of the hardworking state employees who helped put on today's event. Secretary Wooten, thank you for the introduction. I also want to recognize all of the state and local government elected officials and public servants who are in the crowd. If you have been elected to office or if you serve the public in some way, shape, or form, please stand or raise your hand so we can thank you. Thank you for your leadership, your willingness to do the important work that our democracy requires. And finally, could all of the veterans or active duty service members please stand or raise your hands? And like Secretary Cashwell, I want to recognize Major James Capers, a Medal of Honor recipient. And just to understand how rare an award that is, only 22 North Carolinians have ever received that honor. Major Capers, thank you for your extraordinary service. I'm pleased to be joined by my wonderful wife, First Lady Anna Stein. Happy wife, happy life. Earlier today, we honored and were moved to participate in a naturalization ceremony where we welcomed 49 new Americans from 25 countries. Their enthusiastic embrace of our country and its ideals reminds us just how blessed we are to call this remarkable nation our home. Now, just around the corner of the Capitol, there's a statue of George Washington, the man who led our troops to victory in the Revolutionary War, the man who voluntarily left the presidency after 2 terms, the man who, in his farewell address, urged unity and patriotism, warning of the dangers of division. Our founders' place in history are worthy of our acclaim. After all, they proclaimed in the Declaration of Independence that all men are created equal, that God endowed us with rights that cannot be taken from us, and that we, the people, choose our government that exists to protect those rights. Of course, our young nation did not fully live up to those ideals. Over the past 250 years, generations of Americans have grabbed and carried forward the baton of freedom in pursuit of a more perfect union, one that fulfills our founding promises: freedom, equality, democracy. Many North Carolinians have run critical legs of that race. Months before the Declaration of Independence, a group of North Carolinians gathered in Halifax on April 12, 1776. It's right there on our state flag. Led by Cornelius Harnett of Wilmington, They had the audacity to believe that they could rule themselves and, to quote Thomas Paine, begin the world all over again. These patriots adopted the Halifax Resolves, making North Carolina the first state in the country to call for freedom from the crown, earning our proud state monitor, First in Freedom. These patriots risked everything on the simple belief that political power belongs to the people. In fact, Harnett gave his life for that principle. And the spark that they lit in Halifax helped illuminate a nation. Yet the light of liberty did not extend to millions of Americans held in slavery and many others. In 1852, Frederick Douglass called out the gross injustice and cruelty of slavery, but insisted that America's salvation from its original sin could be found within the promises within the Declaration of Independence. Douglass charged us to stand by those principles, be true to them on all occasions, in all places, against all foes, and at whatever cost. Wilmington native Abraham Galloway certainly stood by those principles. Galloway was born into slavery, but escaped by hiding on a northbound ship. During the Civil War, Galloway served as a Union spy, traveling throughout the Deep South, before returning to North Carolina to muster 3 units for the U.S. colored troops. In 1864, he walked through the front door of the White House and urged President Lincoln to support black men's right to vote. A few years later, as one of North Carolina's first black state senators, he helped to make that demand a reality. Galloway helped to ratify the 14th and 15th Amendments, advancing equal protection and due process and voting rights for black men. Galloway also advocated for women's right to vote. But once again, even as liberty's light shone on even more people, our nation still left some people in the shadows. So other patriots picked up the baton of freedom and carried it forward. Gertrude Wheel hailed from Goldsboro, the daughter of German Jewish immigrants who settled in North Carolina to build their lives. Wheel believed that the opportunities America had afforded her family should belong to more people, and she lived those values. She founded the North Carolina Equal Suffrage League, and thanks to her advocacy and that of so many women across the country, in 1920, our nation finally guaranteed women's right to vote. A few decades later, Henry Fry, a son of cotton and tobacco farmers, a child of Greensboro, a Korean War veteran, took up that baton of freedom. As a young man, he was turned away from the voting booth, denied the freedoms that he had fought for because of the color of his skin. Spurred by that injustice, he went to law school and became North Carolina's first elected black state representative in more than 80 years and the state's first black Chief Justice. Throughout his career, Fry helped to purge North Carolina law of Jim Crow. Henry Fry's story is remarkable, but it is not singular. Throughout our history, millions of Americans have had the boldness to believe that even when things were at their bleakest, they could make them better. They could turn the promises on paper into freedoms fulfilled. From the streets, from the courtrooms, from the ballot box, everyday Americans demanded that our country live up to the eternal promises that were made 250 years ago today, often at great personal cost to themselves. Patriots severed ties with the crown, forged a democracy, abolished slavery, secured women's political participation, dismantled Jim Crow, and delivered on the promise of a government of, by, and for the people, all of the people. For 250 years, generations of Americans have run an historic relay race, and that includes countless Tar Heels. Every time our nation faced a defining moment, North Carolinians reached out, grabbed the baton, and carried the cause of freedom further than where they found it. Now we have that same responsibility. Will we carry our freedom forward? Will we leave our democracy stronger than we found it? Here in North Carolina, we say yes. Cornelius Harnett, Abraham Galloway, Gertrude Wheel, Henry Fry all said yes, and so must we. I know that we will because here in North Carolina, we love our country. We love what our country stands for, and we love our fellow Americans. We are patriotic to our core. Whether it's service members putting their lives on the line to defend our freedoms, or teachers spending their own dollars to buy school supplies, whether it's farmers growing our food, or law enforcement officers keeping us safe, whether it's factory workers making our medicines, or public employees working hard to make our 4th of July joyful. North Carolina is home to patriots living out our American ideals, showing us how to step up for each other. That is democracy in its most essential form. Not something that we save for history books, but something that we live in our daily lives. And in our democracy, there is no challenge that we cannot overcome when we come together across our differences, when we treat our fellow Americans with respect and dignity, when we remember that freedom, justice, and opportunity bind us together as Americans, and when we appreciate our national motto, E pluribus unum, out of many, we are one. That's how we create a united United States of America. Here in North Carolina, we are first in freedom, first public university, first in flight, and thanks to the Carolina Hurricanes, first in hockey. But being first in freedom isn't just about what happened 250 years ago. It's about what we choose to do today. And North Carolinians, let us choose to pick up that baton of freedom and keep moving forward. God bless North Carolina, and God bless the United States of America.
Thank you, Governor. And now, as is our tradition here on the Capitol Square on July 4th, we will have a reading of an excerpt from the Declaration of Independence. I'm pleased to welcome Dr. Darren Waters. He is a Deputy Secretary for Archives and History at our agency, the Department of Natural and Cultural Resources, and he is our state historian and the keeper of the Capitol. Dr. Waters.
Thank you, Secretary Cashwell. Good afternoon and happy Independence Day. And now excerpts from the Declaration of Independence.